Don't pick an online course topic until you watch this video, because here's the thing, most people choose the wrong topic. They build out a course and then they hear crickets and they're so disappointed and defeated because they spent all that time, energy, and money to try and get this thing off the ground. But by the end of this video, you're gonna know how to pick a course topic that is truly valuable. And maybe you have one thing that you know you wanna teach. This is gonna help you refine how you position it so that it's actually profitable. And I'm gonna be giving you access to my free AI tool, which is gonna help you with specialization and differentiation. Again, this is gonna help you ensure that you actually create something that's profitable. And by the way, if we haven't met before, my name is Sarah Turner. I'm an 8-figure business owner. My first program went on to generate over $25 million in sales. And now I run a membership for course creators, which includes everything you need to get up and off the ground and to scale. And it's going to ensure that it's not taking up a ton of your time. In fact, it's going to save you so much time, because oftentimes course creators are also working on other things. Plus, I know you don't have time to take another course, but first let's get clear on what your course topic is and to make sure that it's actually going to be profitable. So maybe you have a million ideas and you don't know where to start, or you don't know which one is the best idea. Or maybe you're worried about wasting your time on the wrong thing. Or maybe you're terrified that you'll build something and no one will buy. Listen, all of those fears are super normal. I even experienced them at one point, and now I've helped so many people through overcoming them to get their product out into the world. And the good news is there's a process, a tried and true path. So let me show you some frameworks that will remove the guesswork and have you feeling so much more confident by the end of this video. First, let's talk about passions versus profits. I always recommend that people start with passions first, because course creation is a pretty intensive process, especially at the beginning. But because it is scalable, it requires less and less of your time as you go on. So what excites you enough to teach? Or what transformation do you know you can help people achieve? What do you care about? In my experience, meaning goes so much further than money, because money is only motivating to a point, which is why I always recommend you have some passion behind this goal. Next, let's validate with profit potential. Is there an existing market? Sometimes people get discouraged when they see that there are already course ideas that are similar or adjacent to what they want to do, but that's actually a good thing. It tells you that there's likely a demand for it. So poke around on the internet and see if people are already spending money on this particular topic. In fact, if you haven't seen my 7 weird course niche ideas, that's going to show you how you can make whatever it is you want to teach profitable, because a lot of this really has to do with specialization and differentiation. But truly, here's my first tip for you. What is going to be successful will lie at the intersection of something you are passionate about and something that is going to actually be profitable. And remember, you have access to my incredible AI tool that's going to help you figure out if this is actually profitable. So the next thing I want you to keep top of mind is really getting clear on who you serve, not just what you teach. When I'm working with people, they often get hung up in the idea that, well, anybody would technically benefit from this, but that is not what we want. We want to get crystal clear on the person who this is perfect for, because we want to be talking to them in all of our marketing materials. So who exactly do you want to help? And what problems keep them up at night? You want to get really clear on their problems and how you can help them solve them. I'll give you some examples using real successful students from Corsia Collective. Let's say you're a hospice nurse practitioner and you've noticed that people want to get into that world, but they don't really have a good path to do so. And it's really meaningful work because you're helping people navigate the end of life. So you decide to create a program where you help people who are already in the healthcare industry transition into hospice care, or you help people who are not in the healthcare industry become death doulas. This is helping them increase the income that they're making, but also helping them find more meaningful work. Another example would be, maybe you are a freelance journalist who figured out how to get published in famous travel magazines like National Geographic. You spent years figuring out what works and what doesn't, and now you've put it together in a path to actually help other people get published in huge travel publications, but not only that, build their network and allow them to be able to travel for free while they get paid to do what they love. Another one might be, maybe you are a social media marketer and you've been doing social media for clients. And so maybe you put together a course on Instagram strategies for yoga teachers because you know, one, that they really need help with their marketing in order to be successful, because you yourself are a yoga teacher on the side and you've used your own strategies that you use in your work on your own yoga teacher business, and now you want to teach others to do the same. So see how we took the thing that we're passionate about, end of life, travel journalism, social media marketing, but we took the time to get really clear about who we're going to teach that to and got really specific. So navigating end of life, death doulas, people in healthcare, The travel journalism example, working with people who want to learn how to travel and be a writer. And then the third one, teaching specific strategies to yoga instructors. We took each of those ideas, but we got more specific when we figured out who it was we really wanted to get in front of. This is going to help you with differentiation, which is basically how you stand out in the noisy online world. And it's also really helpful in ensuring that you're profitable. So real quick, I want to show you this little matrix that I made where you'll see at the top, there's the general promise, and then on the right-hand side, there's a specific transformation. Then you have your broad market and your niche market. Now, in the upper left-hand corner, if it's something about fitness, and you are doing fitness for everyone, it's too generic. The sales for a program like this will likely fall flat because you're talking to everyone. And when you're talking to everyone, you're talking to no one. Now, if we move over, we can see in the broad market, but a specific transformation, you could say something like, let's lose 10 pounds fast. Now, this is going to be very competitive, again, because the market is very broad, but it does offer a specific transformation, so it will likely be more effective than that one that is a general promise in the broad market. Now, if we move from a general promise down to the niche market, we could say something like, this is yoga for moms. Now we're getting more specific about who the niche is, who the market is, but we're still kind of vague. Then if you look in the bottom right-hand corner, you'll see we have the sweet spot. This is where we have something that is in a niche market, but also offers a specific transformation. 30-day postpartum recovery plan for new moms. As you can see, when you start targeting a specific niche and a specific transformation, you are going to make it so much easier to market your course and for people to look at your marketing materials and think, oh my gosh, this is just for me. This is perfect. This is exactly what I need. Sign me up, take my money. The next thing you're going to want to do when you're really clear on this is you're going to want to come up with a transformation statement. So call out that specific person. Next, add a specific transformation and then overcome any objections. It might look like this. I help specific person go from current situation to desired result without common objection. Let's give you a few examples. I help freelance writers go from inconsistent 1K months to consistent 5K months without burning out. I help postpartum moms regain energy in 30 days without restrictive dieting. I help watercolor artists sell their first 50 prints online without paid ads. Again, the power in this is that you're getting so specific people think, oh my gosh, this is perfect and just for me. Now I want to talk about some of the biggest concerns people have when we're talking about differentiating like this. One of the main concerns I hear from people is, what if my niche is too small? Now, it can be too small, but more often than not, what we find are smaller niches result in higher conversions. In fact, if you check out my 10 course idea video, you will see what I mean. The next concern people often have is, what if I'm not an expert? What if I don't have a PhD? You really only need to be a few steps ahead of the people that you are teaching, and you need to be able to actually help them get that transformation. And then the final concern people often have is, what if no one buys? Listen, that's why there is a tried and true process to building a course. And it's why I want to invite you to Coursia Collective. I have designed this program and this path to be extremely accessible because I'm at a really wonderful place in my career where I can do so. I actually don't recommend that you go out and just build a course. I recommend that you actually start small and get it into a few people's hands so that you can get feedback and make it better all along the way. The other powerful thing about this is that you're going to gain a ton of momentum. And with my AI tool, which is not just ChatGPT, it is trained on over a decade's worth of battle-tested strategies. You'll actually be able to do this in a fraction of the time that I was able to do this in. So if you're still kind of bopping around course idea topics, I want you to check out my free tool below. It'll give you kind of an idea of what it's like to work with my AI tool inside Coursia Collective, although that is much more robust. And it'll help you pick out your topic. It'll help you figure out if it will actually be profitable. You'll also find details about my membership program in the description below. Again, it's called Coursia Collective, and you're not just left with an AI tool. You actually get weekly live calls with me because AI is never going to actually replace the expert advice of a mentor in real life. I wouldn't do that to you. I'm an in the trenches kind of mentor, and I hope to see you in there.